Living with undiagnosed social anxiety is hard. It's like living and being stuck in this glass bowl that only you can see. Nobody else knows why you can't get out of it. Just walk forward, they say, but I can't because there's a wall of glass in my way. As a child, I had selective mutism, which basically is an anxiety disorder that involves speaking. Certain situations leave you unable to speak just due to the sheer amount of anxiety you're facing. And over time, that just developed into regular old social anxiety for me. And not knowing what was wrong with me, but knowing that there was something wrong with me, it was hard. I didn't understand why I couldn't just be like the other kids. Why I was so shy and nervous and unsure of myself, so full of doubt. And honestly, it was kind of traumatic dealing with that undiagnosed social anxiety. I had no help, no resources available to me. I was lost, figuring life out on my own with this disorder that's highly, highly debilitating. I remember when I first learned what social anxiety was, and I felt so relieved to know that there were people out there like me, that I had a disorder and that it could be cured. I started out just in therapy, but it wasn't enough. I need medication to function, and my current therapist, when I first saw her, she said something about probably being able to get me off my anxiety medication, but since she's gotten to know me a little better, she thinks that I'll probably be on medication for the rest of my life for this anxiety, because I function at a level of anxiety that is so much higher than the average person. I am in constant fight or flight mode, and the medication takes me out of that mode and lets me relax. My first job, back when my social anxiety was still undiagnosed, was the hardest period of my life ever. I struggled so much. I was so sure that I was an awful employee and that I was just so bad at my job, and that everyone found me annoying for asking so many questions. And I felt like I was always going to make a mistake and just that it would be the end of the world. I was terrified of being asked questions, and I thought it'd get better in time. And with normal shyness, it does get better in time, but it didn't. It got worse and worse, and I was finally allowed to quit because my parents could see the toll it was taking on me, and that's when I finally started therapy. And so I've been through 4 therapists now. And I have mixed opinions on therapy. Some days I'm like, yes, it's the best thing in the world. It's given me so many coping skills. And some days I feel like most of my coping skills I've learned from Twitter and Instagram, and that my therapists have done not much for me. Last time I saw my therapist, I was hoping to talk about some coping skills for my depression. I was pretty much just told to call my doctor and get a med change. Which, I mean, I did get a med change. My mood stabilizer used to be Risperdal, it's now Abilify. And that's supposed to help with both the manic and the depressive parts of bipolar disorder. So hopefully that mixed with my Prozac will help me. I've said before that life has gotten so much more complicated since being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but in reality that's not true. My life was so much harder undiagnosed. Not knowing what was wrong with me, not knowing anything, not knowing how to cope, not wanting to be here, just for once in my life wanting to feel safe. And that's what I never could do because of my social anxiety, is feel safe. So yeah, that's why I'm very quick to label myself as, yes, I have social anxiety. It's a huge part of me. And I'm not afraid of the diagnosis label. If my mental health professionals are going to treat me like I'm just a label, then yeah, they're gone. But I need these diagnoses to survive. I need to know that I have social anxiety and bipolar disorder, because if I don't know what's wrong with me and I'm not getting help, I'm not getting any better. I'm just getting worse and worse and spiraling out of control. And all those years of having social anxiety and not having any help for it have really just left a mark on my soul, like a scar that won't heal. I remember feeling lost, so lost, so isolated and alone. And I don't want anyone else to feel like that. I guess that's why I make these videos. I want people to know that there are people out there like you who suffer from social anxiety. And I want to show that it does get better. I'm on Valium right now. I take it twice a day, and it mellows my anxiety levels out a lot, and I don't think I could function without it, honestly. And there's a lot of stigma that comes with that, but I am not ashamed to say that I cannot function without medication, just like someone who cannot function without insulin should not be ashamed. I take 3 different medications, and I'm not ashamed. They help me get through my day. They make my life a whole lot easier. They're necessary, they're needed. Quite frankly, they're life-saving. And I don't feel so lost anymore. I have help, I have a diagnosis that I can talk to my family about and get support. I have a therapist and a psychiatrist, both who are very, very kind, and you get the sense that they're really genuinely there to help. I know a lot of people have bad experiences with psychiatrists just wanting to prescribe medication and get you out of their office, but mine will ask me a lot of questions trying to get to the bottom of why I'm feeling the way I do. Last time I went in to see her for my worsening depression, and before she made a med change, she asked a lot of different questions to find out if there were any triggers behind it, and there really weren't. I was just going through a down phase. And so then she decided to switch my medication. And that's, I think, a sign of a good psychiatrist right there. So, yeah, I'm not alone anymore. And I feel like I have a path to recovery. I'm not recovered. I don't want anyone to look at these videos and think she's got it all together, she's completely recovered, because I'm not. But I want you to know that you're not alone, that we're all in this together, and that social anxiety will not win over us. We will beat it.